Joe Burrow is back after having his appendix removed. Quiet, Pete. Joe Burrow is back. Zach Taylor, coach of the Bengals, says, I don't want to put a timeline on it, but it's been encouraging. He's back to himself in meetings, and he is looking good. Mike Ryan, the Sunday Night Football sports medicine analyst, tweeted something recently about how long it takes. I mean, it's not like, hey, my appendix was out and I'm good to go. You've had, your body
surgery.
cut open.
Yeah.
Somebody reached inside and removed something, and they sewed it back up. You got muscle that was invaded. You got things that have to heal. And that whole,
yes,
that whole,
right.
This is fairly important to what the quarterback does. This is kind of good. I could just keep doing this. But it's got to be good for something. Better than just sitting here. Why don't we just do this the whole show? But anyway, it's going to take some time, and he's back, and he'll be ready to go for week one. The question is, what's he missing?
Yeah.
Does it matter? It's not like they have an overhaul of the receiving core like they do in Green Bay. I think he'll be fine, and they'll be fine.
I think so, too. One, you got to be careful. I mean, you're saying it right. That twisting, that torquing that you're trying to throw, a 50-yard go route, a 20-yard in cut, and you're trying to throw something with, a little heat on it. That's when you create those opposites between the upper and lower half, and that scar, I mean, anybody, most people have seen an appendix or appendectomy scar there. It is kind of right there at that crease of where that happens in that motion that you were just, so gracefully showing the audience on TV. So you got to be careful there. And yes, you don't want to tear anything. Maybe the muscle's not completely healed there yet. I'm not concerned. He's the man. They'll be ready to go. I'm just a little bit like, man, I wish he could be out there because I'm one of those that I don't see. I know there's the debates out there. We're like, will the Bengals fall off from last year? And, will it be one of those things? I'm one to go, I think last year's a jump off with that group there. I do. I just think it just gave them confidence. And that's where I wish he was out there just building that with them because I think they're on the precipice of something special there with that crew they got on the offensive side of the ball. You said it. It's a great receiving core. It's a special group of talented skill players, and now they got an offensive line to go with it. But I think all in all, you're right. They're going to be fine, and he'll be fine, and he'll be ready to go week one.
Interesting psychological experiment, though, because only two teams have ever won the Super Bowl the year after losing the Super Bowl. It is hard to go back down to the valley of 0 and 0, as
the
Dennis
Dolphins
Green used to call it, and fight your way out. It was the Dolphins in Super Bowl 7 after losing Super Bowl 6 to the Cowboys, and it was the Patriots in 53 after losing 52 to the Eagles. They beat the Rams in 53 and lost to the Eagles in 52, and obviously won 51 over they're basically in the Super Bowl every frickin' year for a while there. They just didn't win more than one in a row. They were in 49, 51, 52, and 53 and won 3.
Yeah.
They won 3. They won 49, 51, and 53.
Yep.
But they didn't go back-to-back like they did back in the last
the early part of their
phase of the dynasty.
Right.
Yeah, they were losers. So anyway, Bengals after, because I remember when the Bears got shut out by the 49ers in 84 in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
That lit the fuse for the 85 Bears.
Sure.
I've heard the accounts, the flight home, everybody was pissed off, and they just decided, you know what, next year we're going to go take this thing. That's falling short of the Super Bowl. There's something about getting to the Super Bowl, not winning it, and starting over again that is difficult. There was a recent comment from Joe Mixon about how he wishes he had forced his way back onto the field. Remember, they used Samaje Perine in that 2-minute drive, and it was 3rd and 1, and Perine didn't get the first down. Mixon, maybe would have, and Perine was actually the intended target for the desperation throw that Joe Burrow made, and Mixon upset that he wasn't out there. And it's just one of those things. It's not quite Super Bowl 49 pass instead of run that kind of stayed with the Seahawks for a long time. But you want to get back to that point. The hard part's getting to that point.
Yeah.
The easy part's finishing the job, just like with the 49ers. Remember when Kyle Shanahan said a couple years ago, what I want to do is get back to where we were and finish the job? The easy part's finishing the job when you're up 10 with 7 minutes left. The hard part is getting to the point where you're up 10 in the Super Bowl. The hard part's getting to the playoffs and winning playoff games. Look how close the margins were. The Bengals could have and should have lost every game.
Right.
That they played. They could have lost to the Raiders, maybe should have lost to the Raiders. Could have lost to the Titans, should have lost to the Titans. Should have lost to the Chiefs it's tough to. You're drawing an inside straight. I mean, this is not easy to do to get to the Super Bowl, and it's only going to be harder this year in the AFC.
Yeah, the AFC's loaded, especially with those special quarterbacks. That's where you're not always to the point of what you just said there. When you got a special quarterback, sometimes the best team doesn't win because the quarterback just makes a few plays that the other team didn't, or the other quarterback, made some mistakes, a.k.a. Ryan Tannehill, and he's not Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah, there's that. And I think, you're right. There is a psychological element. You talked about those 84 Bears, and then that was the jump off for the 85 Bears. And then on that year, guess what happened? The 85 Bears shut out the New York Giants 21-0, and that became the jump off for the 86 Giants. And there is something there where, wait, we didn't get to the Super Bowl and we're angry and we don't know what it feels like to be there, as compared to, we got there, oh my gosh, what a journey, and we lost. It's just more devastating. And I got to think.
And you have a bigger target the next year,
yes,
too.
You
got a bigger target on you if you made it.
You're 100%. Everybody's going to want to measure themselves against the Bengals early on in the football year and go, this is the team that won this or was in the Super Bowl last year. Look at us. And they're going to be able to sell that to their fan base. That's what builds a little confidence and culture in a team. But the letdown of that, and then, I don't know, maybe the taste in your mouth of, wait, we did get there. Maybe that takes a little of the hunger away. I don't know, but there certainly seems to be like a psychological block there that is, hard to overcome. There's no question.
Yeah, it really isn't. And some may scoff at this, but I think it's real because the games are so close that factors like that do matter.
Yes.
Because the games come down to a play here and a play there. And if you're just a little more prepared, a little more excited about measuring yourself against the Bengals. When have the Bengals ever been, in our lifetimes, the measuring stick for anything other than how bad you are? Oh, you lost to the Bengals. You must really suck. I mean, other than the
late 80s.
Since the 88 team, that's it.
Yeah.
The team that almost beat the 49ers in Super Bowl 23 and similar to Super Bowl 56, almost won the game. And it's not like the Bengals came back the next year. That was the front end of them slipping into decades of crap. And that's not going to happen with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and company. That would be a shock if it occurred because they're on the front end, not the back end. But still, it's not easy to do when you've lost the Super Bowl because you do have the target as if you'd won it. And in the AFC this year, I don't know who the hell is going to emerge from that. It's going to be driven by injuries, bad calls, good call for the other team, bad call for one team, weird bounce to the ball, crazy weather. It's going to be something like that determines who makes it to the Super Bowl.
Definitely. And Mike, I'm just going to echo one more thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to butt in there. Just hey, matchups matter too. It does. And I had many people when I was in Cincinnati kind of refer to, we wish we would have saw the 49ers in the Super Bowl. They were disappointed that the Rams got there. They knew the Rams were the worst matchup for them. And that's what frustrates you too sometimes. Just you go, oh, man, that was like the one team with their bad offensive line that they just didn't want to see, that way. So it's just like you're saying, it's a game of inches. There's so many little things that go into it. I'll be one to sit here and go, if the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl and played the Rams, I think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. They have a good enough offensive line to block that group up there. And then with Mahomes, I'd go, I don't like that matchup for the Rams in that one. So there's so many things that you think about, ooh, what if this happened? What if that happened? And it's hard to replicate it. And we've only seen special teams really do that.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.